The officer said the charges reflect a public ignorance of what it takes to be a good cop. Apparently, he was charged with assaulting someone while they were in handcuffs. I'm not sure that's what it takes to be a good cop. Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Wednesday? I am doing quite well. I do have a little bit of a Georgia court update. I uploaded a short. If you missed that, I did do that today. So make sure you check that out. So a lot of y'all have been asking me over the past like 2 or 3 days, what is going on with Sean Reyes? Can you go back and cover his case again? Because he is facing some tyranny with the NYPD. Okay, update. I don't know why I said NYPD. It's not the NYPD. He's being stalked and harassed by the Nassau County Police Department, led by Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder. If I say NYPD again, that's incorrect. It's the Nassau County Police Department. So come to find out, woo, yes, he is. So unfortunately, I've not been able to keep up with the story as it has been happening, but I did kind of start catching up a little bit today. If you want to know the full whole story, I would suggest you do head over to his channel. And I have it pulled up here, so I'll just show y'all. This is his channel, Long Island Audit. And I think the video you want to start with for this whole saga is this one. County police try to violate journalists' rights. Let me see. Oh, Lord, we got the duck people. What's their names? Okay, this video right here. County police try to violate journalists' constitutional rights. Massive walk of shame. Okay, so he posts this from the Nassau County Social Services Department, and from there, basically, calamity ensues. So, like I said, I do think it's several videos now. There's been court cases, there's been protective orders. I mean, it is a fiasco. And I watched one of Sean's videos last night, and now I'm going to report on it a little bit here. I think, and it seems like Sean thinks, and this is just my opinion, I mean, I don't know anything, but it seems like maybe this targeted harassment that Sean is facing is coming from a place of the police trying to hide something. I'll let Sean speak for himself here, but in particular in today's video, I want to talk about a video that Sean did just upload last night. Actually, he just streamed it last night. If you go to the live tab up at the top, my life is in danger. Okay, so yeah, I mean, the man said his life is in danger. As you can see, it is, and I have watched the whole thing. I hate whenever I watch stuff on my TV and then I come in here, it's like not logged in and it makes it look like I haven't watched it. So my life is in danger. He streamed it 18 hours ago. It's about 40 minutes long. And I would definitely invite y'all to, even if you don't know all of the story and you don't want to start from the very beginning, he does lay out what happened in the very beginning of this video. So if you want to just jump into this story, I think this is a fine place to start. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to let Sean explain it for himself, but it's so, I was going to say like mind-blowing. It's not that mind-blowing. It's infuriating that the government continues to get away with this. And so I did just like the most basic amount of research, and I want to show y'all what I found as well. I cut out about 7 or 8 minutes worth of Sean's video from yesterday. That's 40 minutes long. We're going to talk about that here, and I'm going to show y'all that 7 or 8 minutes. But again, I'm going to leave it linked down below, and y'all should go watch the full video because Sean does come with a lot of receipts. He's been doing an investigation of his own. He's trying to like actually financially audit this fund. There's all kinds of stuff going on. But today we're just going to be reacting to a recent incident that thankfully Sean did catch on the surveillance footage of his house. So according to Sean and according to what I saw on the surveillance footage that he has now released, he's being stalked and harassed in a jurisdiction where they don't belong, where they don't have authority, and these police officers are not identifying themselves as police officers, so he's literally being gang stalked. I mean, I wish there was a better word, but that's what's happening, in my opinion. And we're going to look at the footage upon which I based my opinion together right now, so you can form your own opinion. Okay, so I did kind of embellish this video a little bit. I did edit it. I clipped out some pauses and stuff. Please go watch Sean's full video. It is up and available, and I will link it below. So there's some overlays and stuff that I did kind of put in. So if y'all don't like it, don't blame Sean.
County Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder is trying to silence me from exposing his corruption. Why isn't County Executive Bruce Blakeman doing anything about it? First, I want to be clear about what exactly is going on here, because it's been going on through multiple videos now. So I just want to have a clear and concise way of telling each and every one of you what
So he's going to outline, kind of lay out exactly what led us to this point.
is going on in Nassau County, New York. So it all started August 28th of this year, where I went inside the Department of Health and Human Services in Nassau County to conduct a First Amendment audit. I was there to peacefully exercise my rights.
And that's that video that I showed y'all from the Nassau County. I showed y'all that one.
As I always say in each one of my videos, I was also there to investigate the government. I have received multiple complaints that people weren't getting the services that they need and they were being treated horribly. On top of that, I was there to file a FOIL request. When I went there, they told me I couldn't film because of some arbitrary sign that wasn't backed by any official.
Okay, I got some text messages and I forgot where I was here. But anyway, okay. Where were we? Okay, we were watching this, I guess. I don't really remember where we were. Sorry, I got so distracted.
Official policy, to my knowledge.
And it's posted that you can't record. So it's going to advise you now that you cannot record inside.
I could take this into a court of law and hold you and your officers accountable for violating my constitutional rights. Big walk of shame here.
So that was a clip from that initial August 28th incident at the Social Services Department that kind of sparked this whole cascade avalanche moving forward.
What happened was the building closed, so nothing was resolved that day.
So he went back and forth with the cops that day, like bickered with them back and forth. Nothing was resolved. The building closed, so he couldn't go back in. So he's going to describe going back again another time.
I went back the next day, and when I went back the next day, that video you haven't seen yet because they had seized my camera as evidence and they will not give it back to me. So I went there recording yet again, spoke with the officer. An attorney for the Department of Social Services, David Carl, handed me a 2-page memo explaining why
He has a video of this incident, I believe, as well. If you go to the videos tab and you look at the most recent videos, he does have all these videos, so y'all can go and watch them. But he's just kind of given the rundown leading up to this very terrifying evidence that he's now gathered of being legitimately gang stalked by people who are not in any way representing themselves as police officers.
I didn't have a chance to read it. He gave me the memo. I tried to read it to understand why I wasn't licensed or privileged to be there. Why does a sign override our constitutional rights?
It doesn't.
But before I can do that, Officer Kenneth Keller, that you've seen in the original video and the subsequent follow-up, he said, "Do I have official business here?" I said, "Yeah, I have constitutionally protected business." I was about to tell him about my FOIL request as well as me asking questions of my government, and he immediately said, "Put your hands behind your back." I told him I'll leave under threat of arrest, but before I could even get that out, he said, "Nope, too late, you're under arrest." They wanted to arrest me because they did not want me asking questions of the Department of Social Services.
I think so too, in my opinion. Okay, so I know he just said it, but to kind of reiterate, he went to the Social Services Department on August 28th. They acted a damn fool. They went back and forth because he was recording there, and then they were trying to enforce some sign over the Constitution. They got into it, but the building closed. The next day, Sean comes back again to finish, his business, to do the FOIL request and the other things that he enumerated at the beginning here. And somebody walks up to him with 2 pieces of paper. Before he could even read the papers, he's getting arrested. He said, he wasn't even asked to leave. So to be trespassing in a public place, you have to at least be on some type of notice that you're being asked to leave and then refuse to leave. There's other stuff you have to be doing, like causing a massive disruption or committing some other type of crime. But they just basically just wanted to arrest him because they're tired of dealing with him. That's really the issue. But unfortunately for them, it's their job.
Was arrested, released about 6 hours later.
They held him for 6 hours. They did some other messed up stuff. That's also completely documented on his channel.
On a desk appearance ticket. When I was arraigned, the district attorney's office and the district attorney of Nassau County is Ann Donnelly. She's an elected official. She was just recently elected, I believe, in 2021. Her office submitted to the court during an arraignment 8 stay-away orders of protection for 2 law enforcement officers and 6 government employees.
Okay, this lady is the district attorney of Nassau County. She's the one who signed off on these 8 stay-away orders of protection. And this part of the story warrants its own video. I've got to make a whole video on just how preposterous it is that these stay-away orders were even granted in the very first place against Sean Reyes, because there's 8 stay-away orders against public officials whenever Sean himself has done nothing to these people. And he's going to talk about this. I think I left this part in. but the judge granted the stay away orders of protection based on an allegation for which there was actually no evidence. An allegation was made against Sean, and the allegation was one of Sean's followers left a comment somewhere. Again, they provided no evidence of this other than them just saying it out loud. One of Sean's followers left a comment somewhere about one of the officers' home address or something like that. Somebody commented somebody's address somewhere. And the first thing that I think is like, well, couldn't the cops have just commented their own damn address somewhere and then just said, oh, that was Sean's follower? Like that was the first issue that I had with it. But then as I listened to Sean continue talking, he said they did not even present any evidence. No evidence. And I'm starting to think, oh, wait, hold on. This is a little bit of a mafia. This is a little bit of a mob, a cult. A cult, one might even say. I mean, there's definitely the dogma aspect, like try to leave and you get, I don't know. There's like lists and stuff for checking off if you're in a cult. But so that's why I started looking into this. So as it turns out, this woman, Ann Donnelly, who is the district attorney for Nassau County, she was just sworn in, I think, a year, 2 years ago, something like that. She's the prosecutor, right? She's the person who's supposed to bring forth the criminal allegations. But I'm smelling a conflict of interest for Miss Ann Donnelly, because what I'm seeing is a little bit of favoritism, not only between Ann Donnelly, the district attorney, and whatever that bald-headed toe of a man, Patrick Ryder, not only between Ann Donnelly and Patrick Ryder, but maybe even this judge who's used to dealing with them all the time, who wouldn't assume that they were lying, right? So I found this inauguration or like swearing in or whatever footage of her, and listen what she says about Patrick, who is the guy who, I don't know who these restraining orders are against for Sean. And to be clear, these restraining orders are not permanent. I think there's like a permanent hearing that's going to come up eventually, but the judge basically, based on like no evidence, did grant the 8 stay away orders. So I don't really know. That seems very unconstitutional, because what it ended up doing was making it where Sean cannot go to a government building, which is his right. I mean, and he lives in New York. That's the issue. He lives in New York. He pays taxes in New York. He has, I think, 2 homes in New York. He's a New Yorker, like he's from New York, and his channel name is Long Island Audit. And they're saying you can't access your government? It's very insane. So like I said, that factor in and of itself just deserves its whole own video. I was just a little bit distracted whenever that part of Sean's story was live, like unfolding, but that did happen. Okay, so listen to Miss Thing here. Miss Ann, she's going to tell you how much she loves the police commissioner. Again, this is not a police officer. This is the prosecutor, the lead head prosecutor in Nassau County, who's bringing forth these charges. Listen how she describes the police chief who Sean is investigating. Just listen.
Her office submitted to the court during an arraignment 8 stay-away orders of protection for 2 law enforcement officers and 6 government employees.
Those guys better look out.
8 stay-away protective orders.
Thank you, Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder, or as I refer to him, Patty.
Or as she refers to him, Patty. I don't know if this seems fair. I don't know if this is not passing the constitutional muster for me. Okay. It's just not. It's not passing the test. The sniff test, the constitutional sniff test, the gut check, it ain't passing. We got this lady talking about, or as I like to call him, Patty. So I like to call him Patty. And she's the one bringing these charges against Sean. You'll understand more context in just a minute.
So fast forward, I have a rental property on Long Island. Nassau County detectives, on the orders of Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder,
or as I refer to him, Patty.
Okay. So all that stuff I just told you about, that all previously happened, okay? What he's about to describe is a new situation. So really it all just stemmed from him trying to record and them not wanting him to record. Then it escalated to, why don't you want me to record? It may be because you are afraid of transparency. People start sending Sean tips, and somebody sent him a tip about this Patrick Ryder guy basically being in charge of like some fund, and maybe he was committing financial crimes or something, right? Sean got that tip. So then Sean starts looking into that commissioner. He's going to talk a little bit about that at the end of the video, but all that already happened, right? So Sean starts looking into the commissioner. I think he might have even hired somebody to conduct an audit into this fund. He starts trying to FOIA request the stuff from the fund. And it's during that time of his investigation process that this incident that he's describing now happened. Okay. So here I have the county kind of districting or whatever of, Long Island or whatever. As you can see all the way to the east, it is Suffolk County all the way to the end. And then next to it, to the west or to the left here, we have Nassau County. All right. So Nassau County, the yellow, probably not as helpful if you're colorblind, but Nassau County right here. And then next to it, to the farthest to the right, is Suffolk County, right? So Sean said, I'm in Suffolk County over here, minding my business. And these criminals, is his words, not mine, from Nassau County traveled across the county lines, leaving out of their jurisdiction to come and basically chase me down. Okay. So this is all the incident that we're getting into today, which is going to show the surveillance footage.
They obtained a warrant for my arrest. When I went back to the Department of Social Services to file my FOIL request and to ask my questions that I needed to for my story, I was not overtly recording. No one had any issues with me. I asked my questions. I conducted my business. I was there.
So this is just another revisit that he had done previously where he did record, but I think he did so in a way that was not so obvious. So he didn't have as many problems, but then he did end up posting that video. I did not see it, but I think that's what I heard happen, where he did end up posting that video. They took issue with that video because they did not know he was recording. They tried to get him on surreptitious recording or unlawful surveillance or something, but that statute didn't even apply, probably because they didn't have a reasonable expectation of privacy. I don't know. I've not been up to speed on the case. But he's saying, look, I even went back another time. They didn't have any issues with it, and all that. So now, we're going back to the story where we're going to get to the part where he was gang stalked.
No one had any problems with me being there, and I left. That video is up on my channel. They got a warrant signed by a judge through the district attorney's office. Patrick Ryder did.
Or as I refer to him, Patty.
They got a warrant signed by a judge through the district attorney's office. Patrick Ryder did.
Or as I refer to him, Patty.
Okay. Pay attention. Blink and you'll miss it. The district attorney, that's her right there. She likes to call him Patty. They're such good friends. They're such close buddies. She likes to call him Patty. Okay. Patty got a warrant for Sean's arrest from his bestiana right here, Donnelly. She likes to call him Patty. And she also apparently likes to grant ridiculous arrest warrants. I don't know. So they got this arrest warrant through the district attorney's office, these two besties right here. And then Patty sent his thugs across county lines into a place where he did not have jurisdiction to stalk and harass and hunt down Sean. They literally did put his life in danger, and we're kind of building to that moment.
For criminal trespass in the third degree. So now that warrant, they took that warrant and they crossed county lines. I am told they never even let Suffolk County Police Department know that they were looking for me.
Because they are a gang, a mafia.
They unlawfully.
They don't want to ask nobody's permission because they don't think they need it. Unfortunately for them, it's required.
Stopped my tenant and made him identify himself. Let's be clear, Nassau County has no jurisdiction in Suffolk County. They can't just pull random people over and identify them. That's Gestapo behavior, ladies and gentlemen. They find out where I live and they come up on me like gangsters from a movie, like the mafia, like thugs that they are. I'm driving down my block and this is exactly what happens. A Honda Civic, a dark colored Honda Civic, pulls right in front of me, running me off the road. I had to go off road to get around him. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know they're law enforcement. There was no lights, no sirens, nothing. Just a Honda Civic, an older Honda Civic, pulling right in.
Can you even imagine a dark colored Honda Civic running you off the road in your neighborhood, and there's no police lights, there's no sirens, none of it. It's just someone's running you off the road in a Honda, in an unmarked car.
In front of my car. I felt like I was in a third world country about to get carjacked or something. So instinctually, I went around the Civic off the road, went into my house, and this is the video here. I'll show it to each and every one of you right now. This is what happened. You tell me if this is police.
I keep almost saying I can't even believe this is real, but I can.
Because I've talked to many police officers regarding this video. This is not policing. So you see me there. I'm getting out of my car. You see right here, the black Honda Civic. I go inside because at the
Look, Sean was running and I would too. He just got run off the road by these literal thugs. And look, I'm still kind of holding out hope. I'm like, all right, well, maybe he'll get out of the car and he'll be dressed like a police officer. Oh no, he won't.
this point, ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea who this person is. I don't know what this man is doing. He just tried to run me off the road. No lights, nothing. I have no idea who this is. Let me stop it right here. He runs after.
He's running. Like, this is literally a nightmare. It's literally a nightmare. Who hasn't had this nightmare? Who hasn't had the nightmare that you're running, you don't know who's chasing you, and this person's running after you? It's literally a nightmare. I mean, this is traumatic. They should have to pay him for emotional distress. Like, he's being stalked. Oh, just wait. It gets worse. It gets worse.
After me.
He's
Do
running.
you see this man here?
Galloping.
Do you see any badge on him?
No.
No.
Nope.
He's not presenting himself as a law enforcement officer whatsoever. No
He's wearing a hoodie and jeans. No.
lights, nothing. He realizes I went inside the house and he stops. He sees my security camera and look what this criminal does.
Yup.
He doesn't pull out his badge. He puts up a mask covering his face once he sees my security camera. Does that sound like law enforcement to you, ladies and gentlemen?
No.
That they cover their face in a baklava
I mean, actually, more recently, yeah.
because they see a security camera? What does he have to hide?
He really did look right at that security camera and
Why didn't he take out his badge? Look at him. And he's covering his face as he goes back into the Honda Civic. And then he pulls out to the street. And let me show you the other video here. Now, his partner, I guess, I don't
Look.
know, again, have
imagine you look outside and there's two unmarked cars just like in front of your house, people with hoodies. Sean Reyes has reason to fear that at least somebody somewhere would be mad at him and like show up at his house. Like, he also talks in this video about there's kids in his house, there's other stuff going on there. Like, he's got to protect his home. And I just can't even imagine what I would feel like. I would call the police because I would not assume that this was police. I would not assume this was police. I would assume that I was about to be killed. That's what I would assume. I just got run off the road by an older model dark car that could blend in anywhere. Another very common car pulls up. They're both wearing hoodies. When the one guy saw the camera, he pulled. I would think that they were about to kill me. I would think that's what they were doing. I would call the police because there's no way I would think that this was police.
no idea at this point that these two men are law enforcement. You see they have masks on, both of them. Look at that. They said he ran inside the house. Who are these people? Who are these people?
And if they are there on an official law enforcement purpose, why not go knock on his door? Mr. Reyes, Nassau County Police, we have a few questions. We have a warrant, whatever. It's because they know they don't have jurisdiction over there. They don't have jurisdiction. They just rolled across county lines in unmarked, probably personal cars with nondescript dark clothing and covered their faces.
Now you can kind of see shiny badge or whatever, but they go back in, and this is what I'm talking about. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. They didn't even let Suffolk PD know. An hour later, after letting Suffolk County PD know, according to my sources, an hour later, they let Suffolk PD know we're in the area. We're looking for Sean Paul Reyes on a low-level misdemeanor warrant, ladies and gentlemen. A low-level Class B criminal trespass in the 3rd degree. And we're going to stay tuned to the end of this video. We're going to go over all the supporting depositions.
So I'm not going to include that in this video, but I do suggest y'all go and watch that one and listen to the supporting depositions because it just gets worse.
And the actual statute to see if this applies. Do those look like cops or they look like thugs?
Thugs.
Look like gang members,
Mhm.
mafia members, whatever you
Mhm.
want to call them, cartel members, whatever.
That, yeah,
This is not the United States of America where
it is. Unfortunately, it's the open air prison. That's where we live.
why wouldn't he just identify himself as a police officer? Wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't he say police? Wouldn't he put on lights in this unmarked vehicle here? Why didn't he do that? I can only think of one reason, that he wasn't there in a police capacity at that point. And then they see that I have, look at them, masks up. For what? What do you have to hide if you're law enforcement? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This is scary business what's going on here. I feel like I'm in a movie because I'm uncovering some serious corruption.
I have felt like that myself before, like Free Britney and other stuff. Like, when you start uncovering corruption, people really will try to stop you, like Lou Taylor hiring my law firm or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like these people, look at these guys. They don't want it out there. What's really so bad about, like, you really think about it, like, even if, oh, you're not supposed to record in there, like, okay, it's 2023, y'all. They got cameras on everything. They got cameras recording us everywhere. Please. They are recording us everywhere, all the time. All the time. Our own damn devices record us. That's what he did. That's so bad. That's what it all started from. Or does it have to do with this investigation that he is conducting?
Reason that Commissioner Patrick Ryder, hates me and wants to hurt me and wants to lock me away and silence me is because I'm exposing his tyranny and corruption. I'm making an entire video that will come out on Thursday that will explain from 1990.
So at the time I'm recording this video, that's tomorrow,
when the commissioner of the police department in Nassau County was arrested for beating a man while he was handcuffed. That's a true story. You might not find it in Google anywhere, but I found it in a 1990 New York Times article. He was
I'm gonna look that one up.
arrested. How did that just get scrubbed from the internet? How does no news agency like News 12 talk about that when he was appointed as commissioner? He went from detective sergeant, ladies and gentlemen, which is one of the lowest ranks in the Nassau County Police Department, all the way to deputy commissioner, acting commissioner, and commissioner, passing at least 6 different ranks. How did he do that? Because when he was detective sergeant, he was in charge of the asset forfeiture fund. And I'm being told the allegations are that he was using that fund to pay off politicians and use that fund for his own gain. Because that
Okay,
fund is
so I did find a newspaper article, just looked it up to confirm what Sean is saying. And here is one from Newsday. Okay, Newsday, November 20th, 1990. Hundreds of police officers showed up October 18th to support Patrick Ryder at his arraignment in the Nassau County Courthouse. And this is him right here. Brave Patty or brutal psycho? Oh my God, I wonder if Sean has this article. Oh, this is a good one. Let me take a picture of it. As a uniformed cop in the 3rd Precinct, Patrick Ryder used to spend his lunch breaks up a tree in Newcastle, spying on drug dealers on... Wait. One day, fellow officers recall he noticed a dope deal, whatever, 4 years ago when the short, stocky officer was a rookie. So he was 28 years old at the time. He's still known to drug dealers and defense lawyers by his street name, Psycho? What? Excuse me, what? Many of his fellow cops know him by that name too. Psycho. His name is Psycho. That's his nickname. For them, he's become a lightning rod of frustration, a symbol of a cop who is paying the price for approaching his job with enthusiasm and aggressiveness. Well, yeah, I mean, look, they used to tell you in the newspaper exactly what they thought. And now it's kind of hidden behind sort of like, dog whistles and doublespeak. But look, the cops were mad because they wanted to be aggressive. They wanted to beat people. This looks just like what happened in Danbury with that one guy that said 20 years ago Sean's teeth would be missing. When Ryder was arraigned last month on charges that include assault, misconduct, perjury, hundreds of his colleagues ringed the hall. Yeah, I mean, this is a gang. Ringed the halls of the Nassau County Court Hall. Yeah, I mean, this looks like intimidation. Some were so angry, they shoved internal affairs officers who had investigated the case. Okay, so they're committing physical violence on the investigators of the case. So is that not tampering or sort of interfering with the outcome of an investigation in some way? The police union denied that. Every cop in Nassau County was indicted the day Patty was indicted. Yeah, well, that's how cults work. The officer said the charges reflect a public ignorance of what it takes to be a good cop. Apparently, he was charged with assaulting someone while they were in handcuffs. I'm not sure that's what it takes to be a good cop, but who am I? What do I know?
Audited. If he's not worried about what I'm doing, why send these thugs to my house? Why not just hand over the asset forfeiture fund documents so I can have them audited?
So I'm sure you can kind of put the pieces together, how it ends up. But I actually agree with Sean. I do think that this is all kind of happening to him out of retaliation and in hopes that he won't investigate this story, or in particular in hopes that he won't investigate the police commissioner. Now, I don't know about this slush fund or whatever that maybe allegedly, according to Sean's anonymous tipster or whatever, maybe the commissioner has done something untoward having to do with that fund. I don't really know. But what it does seem to me like I can kind of ascertain here is that this commissioner does not want Sean looking into him. Maybe it has to do with that fund. Maybe it has to do with the fact that his nickname used to apparently be Psycho, not only to on the street. That's what they were described as in the article, but also his own coworkers. And not only was he known as psycho, he was supported very strongly by people whenever he went psycho. I don't like these types of terms, okay? But this was also 33 years ago. They were saying different stuff in the papers, and I am just quoting. All right. So I actually think that Sean might be onto something, and I would also like to look into Patrick Ryder myself. And it's just so interesting. It's like, I always say this, the Matrix has like 3 names. Patrick Ryder is the commissioner we're talking about here. And then the Danbury guy, the like police chief or whatever in Danbury's name is Patrick Rittenauer. And this one's Patrick Ryder. It's like, can we get some new names? That's all I really had for today. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.